Hello and welcome to the lecture series on power semiconductor controllers. Today is part 2 of the lecture on ZCS resonant switch converter. In today's lecture, we will try to develop a relation between the output voltage that is obtained in case of a ZCS resonant switch converter and the time of operation. Okay, so let's start. Before starting, let us quickly see what we have discussed in the previous lecture. We obtained an expression of the current that is flowing through the inductor when the switch S is closed, and we found that it could be divided into 3 modes. Mode 1 starts when this switch S gets closed and the current through it increases linearly as seen from this expression. This expression IL is V N T upon LR. So this is a linear line, straight line, and 145 degrees to the time axis. Then second mode starts from T1 and it ends at T2. In this mode, the diode which was conducting earlier ceases to conduct and now the capacitor starts charging. So during this mode, the current through the inductor is not varying linearly, rather it is varying sinusoidally, a DC component superimposed on a sinusoidally varying component, which could be seen from here. And in the same case, the capacitor voltage that would be appearing across the capacitor would be given by this relation. And in mode from T2 to T3, which is the third mode, there is no flow of current through the inductor, although there are changes in the capacitor voltage, but during this mode there is no current flowing through the inductor. We have also obtained these time T1, T2 and T3 in terms of the circuit parameters, which I have written it here. So these things we discussed in the previous lecture. Now let's start with today's lecture and we will try to find out a relation of the output voltage. Okay, so let's start. To obtain an expression for the output voltage, we will try to utilize the energy conservation law, which states that the power that is being transferred from the input side is equal to, or the energy that is being transferred from the input side will be equal to the energy received by the output. So let us write down the expression for the energy transferred from the input side. So let me call that as Win, and that would be given by the power that is being transferred from the input side. Let me call it Pin, and this times dt, and I have to integrate it for the complete duration 0 to t, where t is the period of the switching of the switch S. Okay, and in this case we can see that the input voltage is constant. So I can, since Pin is basically Vin times the current that is flowing at the input, I can call it In, but this In is also equal to IL, as you could see, ILR, as you could see from here in the circuit. So basically this is integration from 0 to t, and Vin ILR dt. So this is equal to Vin, and within the integration we are left with only ILR dt. So let me call it equation number 1. In the second equation, I will write down the expression for the energy received at the output. let me call it W0. So, W0 equals to from integration from 0 to t Po dt, and this will be equal to, now since we have assumed that the output voltage V naught is fixed, moreover the current that is being taken by the load is also constant I naught. We represented it by a constant current source sink. So, basically this will be equal to V naught I naught times T. So, let me call it as equation 2. Now, we will assume, and we have assumed in the previous lectures also, that the circuit is lossless. That means there is no loss in any of the elements of the circuit. So, that means W in and W o are equal. So, before equating the two, let us try to find out this integration. So, this value integration of I LR dt from 0 to t, I can break this integration in 3 parts. The first being from 0 to T1. So, remember this is the inductor current and this is the waveform for the inductor current. From 0 to T1 it is constant and its expression is given by this. So, V in times T upon LR dt plus from T1 to T2, this is the expression for the inductor current. So, this is I naught plus V in by Z naught sin omega naught T minus T1. So, this times dt. So, let me take this inside. Okay. Let me simplify it. So, this can be written as, now this integration is simple since this is a linear variation of t. So, it will be given by V in t square by LR, rather it will be T1 plus, now this part again of integration is simple. So, it is I naught times T2 minus T1 plus, now coming to this part. So, V in by Z naught is a constant. Okay. So, let me write it here, this part, V in by Z naught is constant, while integration of this sin omega naught T minus T1 will result in minus of cos omega naught T minus T1, and variation is from T1 to T2, and this omega naught term will come here. Okay. So, I have to make some space here. So, let me erase it. Let me erase this part. And okay, let me erase this also. Okay. Okay, let me erase this also to make space. Okay. Now, let me write down what is this. Finally, I will get this is equal to. So, if you will integrate it and put these values, and finally, you will get this equal to. So, V in okay. So, let me write it down, V in T T1 square by, okay, one thing I missed here, integration of t will be t square by 2, so 2 term will also be here. So V in T1 square by twice of LR plus I naught T2 minus T1 plus, and this will be reduced to V in by Z naught omega naught, and within the bracket we have 1 minus cos of omega naught T2 minus T1, and this is equal to, this is, what is this? This is this term. If I multiply it with V in, so basically I will get W in. So W in is equal to this much times V in. Okay, and this W in is equal to W out. So V naught I naught, V naught I naught T. From here I can obtain an expression of V naught by bringing these two terms on the left side. So I can write V naught is equal to, finally I will get, I will bring these two on the left side. So this 1 by T becomes Fs. So let me write it down, becomes equal to V in Fs this much times T1 by 2 plus T2 minus T1 plus V in Cr upon I naught this much times 1 minus cos of omega naught T2 minus T1. Okay, fine. I have just replaced V in T1 by Lr. This value can be replaced by the relation in mode 1. Mode 1 relation, see those relations and you can replace it V in from there and you can get this value. Okay. So now this is the equation. Again we can replace this term and we can write it as Fs T1 by 2 plus T2 minus T1, and this term is nothing but, which I had actually mentioned here, which I erased it, it was T3 minus T2. So that is T3 minus T2. Okay. So you can obtain this from this. Just see the relation that I obtained in case of mode 3, and you can easily obtain this relation. Basically you have to see the capacitor voltage and all those things. Okay. So what is the observation that we can now deduce from this expression that we obtained for the output voltage? So output voltage depends on the input voltage, and will it be more than the input voltage or less than the input? You could see here that Fs is nothing but 1 by T, isn't it? And this term T2 minus T1 is this, and T3 minus T2 is this, and T1 by 2 is half of this. So this value is definitely going to be less than capital T. So something which is less than capital T divided by T, capital T will give you a value less than 1. So that means V naught is always less than equal to V in. So basically we are having a buck operation here in case of the ZCS resonant switch converter, and moreover the output voltage, it not only depends on the input voltage, it also depends on T or the frequency of the switching. Okay. And it also depends on the values of the LR and CR that we have used in our circuit, because these T3 and T2 terms and other terms, they depend on those values. Okay. One thing is to ensure that T3 should be less than capital T. Okay, T3 should be less than capital T. Then only we are having a steady state operation. Okay. Okay, fine.